Yes, I am on my way driving home, and it's my first day door dashing. I could do Uber Eats, and so I made $75 basically. My goal was $150, and if you make $150 every day for 7 days, that is $1,000. And so it shows that the little things in life add up. And so recently I've embraced this new mindset. I'm still continually embracing it. It says renew your mind like Christ. And so you want to work every single day. Every day you do a little bit. Every day you dedicate yourself to more. And so what is the point of this? The point of this is that God gives you cards. In this case, I'm able-bodied. I can work. I should not ask for government handouts. Right now, there's a government shutdown. Trump is canceling SNAP benefits, and there's a public in EBT, and there's a public outrage, and people are saying, "Hey, that's not fair. Think of the single mothers, think of the children. That's not fair." So the first thing that comes to mind is if you're a man and you are receiving benefits such as food stamps, there comes a little bit of confusion, a little bit of frustration even. Aren't you an able-bodied man? You should go out and work. Go out and make money. You shouldn't be depending on the government. A man who is depending on the government is seen as less than a man. You can't provide. You being not able to provide directly impacts one of the staples in your manhood. If you can't provide, then you're seen as of less than a man. And so on the flip side, we have women who get more leeway or more cushion, and they are more comfortable being able to be taken care of. And if it's not by a man, it's by daddy government. As long as they're getting money, we see that women are fine. And we see that by women will compromise their morals to get money. And we see that men do it too. But women who are put under the burden of providing, who have to perform, they will typically compromise themselves and look for the easiest way to provide. And we see that with OnlyFans. We see that with porn stars. Your body is a commodity, and I just want the quickest buck, so I will sell it in order to make money. So when women are put in that provider position, and now they have to wonder where to get money, typically they are fine. Step one, they are fine being taken care of by the government. It's just another wallet taking care of them. They don't have to produce for themselves. And then two, if they are in that provider role, stress is made for shoulders, not hips. When that stress is on the hips, they will look for the easiest way to make money. And typically that's by selling their body, being a night ballerina, being a stripper, a dancer, OnlyFans. So yes, there's outrage with EBT SNAP benefits being canceled, but the pushback from people who pay their taxes is that I have to work. Groceries is expensive. Rent is expensive. I have to work. Why should I have to fund your lifestyle? You are abusing. SNAP and EBT should be for those who cannot work for themselves, not if you're clinically obese and you've eaten yourself into a stupor. We're talking about, let's say, burn victims, let's say elderly, 80 years old, 90 years old. They cannot work. They cannot provide for themselves. I am fine paying for their life. Disabled, military veterans, even people with we got people with Down syndrome working. We have people who are blind working. We have people who are deaf clocking into work and every day showing up. You who is able-bodied and obtaining these benefits, why should I pay for you? And I say this, it's relating back to, I decided to start door dashing today. I just started to start doing Uber Eats today as another source of income. when you're able-bodied, and so opportunity, I want to live off other people's, but I don't even think I would. If other people decided to give me a handout, there's something, and so there's pride that's bad, but pride in the sense of I don't want to be mooching. It says if a man who does not work does not eat. A woman who doesn't work doesn't eat. You're telling me you just want to lie on your back and receive as much as you can, as much as possible, without putting out anything. You don't want to work for what you receive. And I would prefer putting in an honest day of work rather than taking a shortcut and having somebody else provide for me. Because someone could always hold it against you. Be like, hey, if you don't comply, I won't give it to you. Or they'll throw it back in your face and say, hey, do you remember when I did this for you? Hey, you're holding it over your head, essentially. When you get an honest day of work, no one can hold that over your head. No one can take an honest day of work away from you. Honestly, you put in an honest day of work, and don't let social media and these women who they've been sold feminism so that they believe that money can replace men, and so they'll look for men with more money, and they don't look at the character of those men. As long as the men have money, they don't really care. They'll compromise their morals anytime. So what I'm getting at is, you're working at Burger King, you're working at McDonald's, you're working at Subway, you're getting an honest day of work. You're not cheating anybody, you're not selling drugs, you're not robbing anybody, you're not stealing. That is honorable. An honest day's work. And so, whether you have a plan or not, it's always good to have a plan. But yes, so my parents came as immigrants. It's anecdotal. This might not be the majority. My parents came as immigrants to the United States, and they've worked their way up the social ladder. What is the social ladder? The socioeconomic ladder. And how do you climb it? So for those of you who don't know, and those of you who possibly don't have a plan, the socioeconomic ladder is you start at the bottom. You do not start at the top, excuse me. You start at the bottom. And what is that? It's for entry-level jobs. You've just entered the workforce and you do not have any skills that make you competent enough to be paid extra. Entry-level meaning that you are not supposed to live off of it. Entry-level jobs meaning it's not meant for you to live off of it the rest of your life. So you start in the workforce. These are your high schoolers. These are your college people. Entry-level. Maybe these are people who are disabled. These are immigrants. Entry level. You're working this entry level job and you start at the minimum wage. Why is it minimum? You don't have any tangible skills. You don't have any valuable skills that can make you more money. So it's entry level, bottom of the barrel. You are the lowest tier on the list. Why? You don't have anything that can make you aren't worth more. Your skills aren't worth more. You get paid what you're worth. So you start at the entry level job. And then you need to have a plan of social mobility, economic mobility, socioeconomic mobility, how to climb this ladder like Chutes and Ladders, or is it Snakes and Ladders? For all my millennials, all my boomers, all my board game people before the internet. I don't know if they made an app about that. But yes, so the socioeconomic ladder is basically you're planning, I'm at this job level, but I am not going to stay here forever. How is the next way to move up the ladder? You need a trade, or you need a degree, or you need a certification. Something saying that, hey, I've acquired more skills, thus I am more valuable. But you have to pay to play. It's either you know somebody or you pay to play. And most times you gotta pay. And so we'll start with the trades. Why are trades valuable? Because they're not going anywhere. They're going to be the last things replaced by AI. Allegedly. Don't quote me. Don't get a job, get replaced by AI, and then come and try to sue me. Because But anyway, yes. So electrician, plumber, carpenter, salesman, a mechanic, people who can work with their hands and fix things and be paid for it. And so those jobs, and for even the machines, someone's going to have to fix the machines. People who fix elevators, people who fix helicopters, mechanic. If you work with your hands, you will always get paid. And so The trades, you have to pay to go to trade school. You could start as an apprentice under somebody, but typically, and then the longer you're in the trade, the more you, from apprentice all the way to like master electrician, master plumber, for journeyman, you work your way up over the years and you will get paid more. You will get paid for your knowledge and experience. Typically, the more you know, you usually start your own business, but yes, you will get paid. You will be compensated for what you know and what you're worth. You will become worth more due to knowledge and experience. That's trade. That's one way to have social mobility. You work minimum wage until you have enough money for trade school, and then when you enter into trade school, you're certified. You're guaranteed. Now, step 2: if you're not entering the trade, you are getting your degree. Don't get some random degree like underwater basket weaving. It has to be a degree that you have to have a level of foresight. So you look at the job markets, you look at how much the job pays after you come out. You know, it's projected, you say it's 70,000, maybe it's 90,000. It's depending on the state, depending on the cost of living. But typically, now you're going to choose your career, your degree, based on how much you intend to get paid. What jobs are recession proof? Working at a hospital, working at a morgue, accountant. There are certain jobs that are that withstand the test of time. Civil engineer, mechanical engineer, electric engineer. You notice how I keep saying doctor, lawyer, engineer, lawyer. People are always going to go to jail. People are always going to need a representation, representative, because crime is always happening and they don't know how to represent themselves. But it costs years of schooling, years of education, and yes, it costs money. And you can fund that education while working that minimum wage, or you save up while you're working that minimum wage. You're saving up to pay for that education. That's another way. And it may take years of schooling, but you need to have the grit, you need to have the drive, and you need to have a plan. It may be a dream to a goal is the steps needed to execute. If it's a dream, it's just an idea. If it's a goal, you've thought of that dream and thought of necessary and pragmatic and practical steps to be able to execute that dream. It's no longer a dream now, it's a goal. And a goal has a plan on how it will be executed. And so after that, you have your certifications. There are some weird certifications they'll pay you for, but most of them you have to pay. Whether I think I was gonna say fixing elevators, that kind of falls under a trade. But if you pay for certain things, like let's say that you're paying for just think of random certificates. I'm sure people in the comments write down random certificates that you can get paid for that people haven't heard of. Yeah, you get certified to do a certain task, and now with that certification, you're good. So whether it be CPR certified, that's the first one that came to mind. You're CPR certified, and now you can be a lifeguard. Well, first you gotta learn to swim too, but still you're getting paid for that skill. You're getting paid for the CPR. You're getting paid for your knowledge on swimming. You can a radiologist technician. That's another thing. You just need a certificate. You might not need a degree. Don't quote me. But think of things where you need a certificate. You don't need as much schooling. You do a little course and you get certified, whether it's Python. Let's say you learn Python, you learn a coding language, you get certified for that language, and now you find a job with that certificate. But you're seeing, in order to climb that socioeconomic ladder, in order to get paid what you're worth, doctors get paid what they're worth, lawyers get paid what they're worth, engineers get paid what they're worth, architects get paid what they're worth, construction workers get paid what they're worth, plumbers get paid what they're worth, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, X, Y, Z, the list goes on and on and on. However, yes, so minimum wage is not meant to be a livable wage. You are supposed to make more over time. Let's say that you start at the minimum wage and you climb up the position. Let's say in my case, I worked at Home Depot. You start as a cashier, and then you move up to head cashier, and you move up to another department, and then you move up to a manager, and then you're manager of that department, then you become a regional manager. And maybe you can make a living off of that, and that's no problem. But for you to have no plan, For you to think you want to get paid the most, the least. So I should have minimum wage, and you should raise minimum wage so we can live off of it. You should raise minimum wage so I can pay my rent with it. That is a wrong mindset. We don't ask for handouts. You go out and you earn it. Why? If you ask for handouts, someone can always hold it over your head. Or if you are dependent on the government, when the government takes it away from you, that's a form of control. So you dictate your own terms. You go out and you get a hard day of work. Hey, maybe you don't have a car, get a bike, get to it. Make it happen. You can walk, get to it. Find a job, apply. You're able-bodied, both arms work, both legs work, your lungs work. Go out and work. There are people who have less than you who are getting out and doing it, so you have no excuse to go out and hustle and grind. God has given you every breath of air you need. God's given you all the strength you need. You need to go out and execute and go out and work hard. Get an honest day's living. No, I don't want EBT and SNAP. Listen, go get married. Your husband's supposed to provide for you. You're letting a whole bunch of men just nut up in you, and you have 6, 7 babies, and they say, yeah, we'll give you free housing as long as you don't have a man in the house. Guess what? You've created generational trauma, generational poverty. We have kids now who have never seen their parents have a solid work ethic. It is foreign to them. My parents have always taken EBT, SNAP. My parents have always taken food stamps, so why should I work hard? I have the government. I can live off of other people's tax dollars. We're raising a generation of dependency. That's a generational curse. Children who are not being set up for the future. And so your job is to be an example. You get it and you live honestly. You can say, yes, I'm a good example. I go out and I work and I don't steal from anybody, and kids should be like me. And you should take pride in the work that you do. I'm not stealing from nobody. And you work at minimum wage, guess what? Don't be ashamed of it. You're working. Other people aren't. And so it was an interesting, I just wanted to, I be getting sleepy driving sometimes. So this is me venting to this phone while I drive home. And so it was an interesting experience. South Dakota, going around from place to place, doing my DoorDash thing. I could have done Uber Eats. This was DoorDash. It was interesting. Made some moolah, man. And you can do it too. And my only qualms with myself is, hey, I didn't start sooner. It feels good to. I spent a lot of money on this mobile game. Them gotcha games got me, man. The fish hook got me. And so it's easy to spend, but now when you have to make it back, you're like, wait a minute. It's easy to swipe the card to get what you want. It's easy to pay cash to get what you want. Easy to Apple Pay. Easy to Zelle and the Cash App, the Google Pay. But now when you have to work hard and make that money back yourself, you got to work a job, put the hours in. It's different. It makes you appreciate swiping different. Makes you appreciate the sacrifice of those who are your parents now. And so be an example, live right, act right, all that. Thank you for listening.